It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of the Pen Game Elite podcast. This is where I'm going to be doing all of my music business updates, talking about the industry, the changes, industry tips, DIY artist tips, indie artist tips, all of that good stuff. We're going to categorize this under the Pen Game Elite podcast. I've been playing with this name, Pen Game Elite, for a while. I have my Pen Game portfolio books, volume 1 and 2, basically giving independent artists multiple ways to monetize their music. Of course, without any help, no label, no management, no nothing. In volume 2, I go way more in depth and detail about what to look for if you're on the scene looking for a manager, things to expect from different publishing deals, record deals, deal structures. So if you're interested in that, you can visit pengameelite.com. Check out the book. It's only $15. You know what I'm saying? You can also get hard copies of that book on Amazon for 25 sent to your house. So if you're interested in that, just hit the link down below in the description. You can check those out. Now, for the first episode of Pen Game Elite, I thought that it would be best to go ahead and talk about Spotify. If you haven't heard yet, Spotify is actually planning on decreasing payouts for smaller artists, okay? In their definition or in their estimation, what is a smaller artist? Basically, anybody that has a new song out and you have less than 200 plays on it, you're considered a smaller artist. Now, if you can't get that many plays, you're going to get $0, 0 cents in payouts until you can at least exceed 200 plays. Now, of course, for a lot of people out there that are doing music business content, music business podcasts, they're going to say, hey, if you can't get 200 plays on your song, why are you doing music anyway? They're going to basically try to make it seem like you're doing something wrong or seem like you're not worthy of being paid for your efforts, for the music that you're creating, etc. I'm not going to give y'all that type of BS on this podcast, okay? Now, what I will say is there's ways to circumvent if you're not getting any payments on your music for less than 200 plays. I got some other strategies that you can employ to make money outside of streaming. We could even talk about strategies to try to enhance your plays, right? I just talked about that in one of my other videos that's going to be a part of the podcast as well. But in this moment, I want to really just focus on Daniel Ek. I think that's his name, the CEO of Spotify. He's been saying some very troubling things for the last few years, ever since about 2019, 2020. His alliance with artists, his view of artists, especially those that are not with major labels or making major or have a lot of monthly streams. He basically says you're not an artist. He has no interest in compensating quote unquote hobbyists. He has no interest in compensating growing artists. He says if you can't get paid off your music, keep putting out more music until you get paid. That's basically his strategy. That's his advice that he would give you. I don't think that's good advice. I don't think I would take advice from somebody like him who's just a guy who created an app, and because piracy was taking over, because it was getting tougher to sell records, the industry just kind of conformed to what he had on the table. The Universal Musics and all of these other big companies, the big three, they accepted stake in Spotify so that they get paid off of all of it in totality. They only breaking the artists off a percentage of it. So of course, they found a way that they could monetize free listens because free music was becoming the trend. Major artists that are getting major spins, they do have livable wages. They are making decent money, but there are a lot of people out there struggling and suffering and can't make ends meet off of music. There was once a point in time about 10 years ago, you could literally make a living off of releasing songs, music, albums, etc. Those days are pretty much over. In the last 10, 15 years, we've seen artists have to focus on touring as one of their primary income resources and ways to bring in revenue. But again, the top dollar touring is reserved for major label artists or artists that have big fan bases that can get booked on major festivals, open up for other major artists. It's just a cycle of people that either are signed or people that are managed by big time managers, have big time booking agencies behind them. If you don't have these big players behind you, you're pretty much trying to figure out how to make ends meet. Now, I don't want to sit here and pontificate about Spotify the whole time. Let's get into the specifics. Billboard Pro has put out a complete article breaking this down, and we're going to get into Rob Abello's actual breakdown of this as well, because we want to try to get this down into simplest terms. So shout out to Billboard Pro and shout out to Rob Abello. I don't know how to pronounce your name, my brother, but I am subscribed to your newsletter. Very good information that you put out. So first up, as we can see here, Spotify is planning to implement changes to its streaming royalty model in early 2024 that would affect the lowest streaming acts, non-music noise tracks, and distributors and labels committing fraud. Okay, so that's also a piece of the puzzle. Anybody that's getting invalid streams on your music, your royalties are going to be diminished, and you're also going to run the risk of not only getting your music taken down off of the platforms, but your distributor may also incur fees on your dumbass behalf for trying to cheat the game. Pardon my English. Conversations have been going on for weeks with the major labels Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, as well as independent labels and distributors, sources say. While the new royalty systems will keep its existing pro-rata model, it introduces new floors that will grow the pool for more established artists and rights holders. Let's go deeper into this. A new threshold of minimum annual streams that a track must meet before it starts to generate royalties. The threshold, according to MBW, which is Music Business Worldwide, I check them out quite frequently, they will demonetize tracks that had previously received 0.5% of Spotify's royalty pool. Meaning, if you're not getting plays, again, you're not going to eat. Financial penalties from music distributors and labels when fraudulent activity on tracks they have uploaded. I said that. A minimum playtime length that non-music noise tracks such as bird sounds or white noise must reach to generate royalties, okay? They continue, the specific benchmarks of these changes and how financial penalties will be calculated or implemented are currently unclear. Spotify will need new agreements to the royalty structure changes with most record labels and distributors to implement the plan, but that doesn't mean entirely new licensing renewals. Changes can be made specifically for these elements, sources say, and since the major labels, which all negotiate their deal renewals with Spotify on different timelines, are likely to benefit from the new terms, they are likely to sign onto them. When reached for comment, a Spotify spokesperson said in a statement, "We're always evaluating how we can best serve artists and regularly discuss with partners ways to further the platform integrity. We do not have any news to share at this time." So the rumblings are happening below the radar. There's no official announcement from Spotify, right? But people in the industry, they know what's going on because Spotify has to go ahead and get license agreements and signatures and all of that type of stuff in order for this to take place. So there are groups of people that know about this, but I don't know if Spotify was necessarily trying to put this out. Now, as I stated before, we're going to go over Rob Abello's breakdown because he was the first to get to this, and he's got a lot of good music information, music business information online that he offers on Twitter and in his newsletter. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say about all of this, all right? He says 3 major changes coming to Spotify's payout system. Number 1, a minimum annual stream threshold. Number 2, fraud penalties for distributors. We described that pretty clearly. I mean, if you're not out here paying for boosts or doing anything fraudulent on your music, you're safe. But if you are, you might want to pull back on some of your investment. It could get a little tricky. We've already seen artists get their music taken down in 2021, I think it was, trying to boost your stream so that you could have a nice Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. That shit is played out. And number 3, higher minimum play time for noise music. All right, so he actually breaks this down a little bit more. Number 1 is going to be your minimum annual stream threshold. Any song that doesn't hit, it gets $0, like I stated. Exact number to be determined, but likely anything less than 200. Targeting tracks that earn less than 5 cents per month. Of course, 5 cents per month, that sounds paltry. However, it takes a lot of plays just to generate that 5 cents. This is what y'all created. They're also expected to demonetize about 0.5% of all the songs across the platform. Each track is tiny, but with 120K songs dropped per day, it's projected to total $40 million next year. $40 million that could either be taken away from artists and then allotted to major labels and major artists. That's how this is going. This actually falls in line with Lucian Grain's lament. He's the CEO of Universal Music. He feels like bigger artists need to be paid more, smaller artists need to be paid less, and that's just how he looks at it. So it seems that the industry is starting to adopt these ideas. When people started calling for changes in rates on Spotify and streaming, you know, we all thought that it was going to be something that was going to be beneficial to all parties. It's showing us that that may not be the case. Number 2, fraud penalties for distributions. Again, not just a takedown, but a crackdown. How this breaks down: a song is shown to be associated with fraud, that track gets taken down, your distribution company or label then get hit with fees. To which he says the self-service distro model for $10 a year has a problem, right? So if you're out here playing with the system, you're paying for, one of these smaller distribution companies, you're paying a small price per year. They may start raising those prices, right? They're going to start incurring fees to make sure that if they do get charged, they're going to make us pay for it. They're going to make you pay for it for bad behavior. So again, we can't control what other people do. We can't control what other artists do. There's so many out there. But inevitably, it seems like we all are going to pay the price. Number 3, higher playtime for non-music noise tracks. If you don't make this type of music, you're not going to really have to worry about it. But here's his breakdown anyway, right? Now, before you needed to at least get 30 seconds of playtime to receive royalties. Soon, noise tracks are going to require longer playtimes, maybe even as long as 4 minutes in order to be received as a valid play. He says all those 31-second rain songs that y'all are putting up on the platform and trying to eat off of, goodbye. Moving further, he states, why is Spotify making these changes? Well, there's 100 million tracks on the platform. There's 120,000 uploaded each and every day. It only takes 30 seconds to earn a royalty. There's a lot of people out there that are listening to your songs on loop. During the pandemic, a lot of people got hip to that game. Just put songs on loop all day and you could just boost your streams. And then you have your friends and family do the same thing. They're trying to cut back on all that shit because anybody that's finding an alternative way to excel, they want to figure out how to suppress you. We'll see how many labels actually find themselves in these predicaments. I think they won't, but they really want to get us, the DIY creators, out the paint. They want to try to de-incentivize us for creating music, releasing music, and finding ways for people to support us. If you're not able to compete, they want you out the way. Not to mention, up to 10% of all streams are fraud. However, I would say at least 7% of the streams in that 10% margin are probably coming from major labels. They're boosting shit and pulling the wool over our eyes. When is this change coming? Q1 2024. So at the top of the year, all of this is going to take effect. I estimate that a lot of independent, upcoming, rising artists that are trying to get on, trying to find ways to market themselves, trying to find ways to get people interested in your music, your royalties, however low they already are soon to decrease even more. This is exactly why I try to tell y'all, get a website, sell your music first. I'm doing the same thing. My album is on pre-sale right now. Southside Nolan Volume 1. It's been on pre-sale for weeks. Anybody that pre-ordered it will receive it on November 1st. It'll be released on streaming on December 1st. So there's another 30 days where if you go on my website, pengameelite.com, you buy Southside Nolan Volume 1. After November 1st, as soon as you pay for it, it'll be delivered to your email, right? That's going to be active until December 1st. At that point, it'll be available for streaming, and whatever comes in from that is what comes in from that. We're going to pitch it to playlists. We're going to do all of the standard stuff, but none of that is going to equate to what I'm going to make off of the sales. If you sell 10 albums and make $100, you're actually doing better than a lot of people that have 20, 30, 50,000 streams and nothing to show for it. This is also why I encourage artists to start getting into the service business. Stop looking at yourself as just a creative and start looking at yourself as a business, right? For the past few years, I've been songwriting, helping other artists that want to be rappers or whatever it is that you want to do. You don't know how to write a song, you need me to do it for you? Okay, there's an app for that. All you gotta do is pay for it. You're an artist with a song that's incomplete. You need somebody to fill in that second or third verse. I'm getting on it. Feature price. And I'm going to give you a damn good feature because I don't play. Producers out there in small cities, foreign countries, they want to get American rap, but they have people around them that suck, that are putting on fake accents and stuff like that. They looking for true artists to get on their stuff. You want me to feature on your song and just do a whole song to your beat? There's an app for that. You could pay for that as well. Sync licensing. Back in 2012, I received my first sync license on Road to the Octagon UFC, right? Ever since then, I've been getting synced every year for the last 10 years. In the past 3 years, it's definitely ramped up quite a bit. It's become part of my annual revenue. I make extra thousands of dollars per year. I would estimate anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 extra dollars per year off of back end royalties. But even then, sometimes you could get some upfront payments. You could get thousands of dollars just for creating a song, doing custom compositions for TV shows, commercials, trailers, stuff like that. I made $2,000 from getting my song placed on NBA 2K22. I have music on Kevin Hart, Zero F's Given on Netflix. All these different things, man, that's something to also get involved with. There's a lot of people out there that are talking about sync, but I know it's not a common word. It's something that's just now becoming popular. A lot of artists back in the days actually used to run from getting their music synced because they felt like it was selling out. Fucking idiots. Doing content creation, you can also get paid to talk about things that you're passionate about. Artists out there, you could actually get paid by DistroKid, by some of these distribution companies. They will pay you a bag to talk about their company on your Instagram, on your TikTok. That's also another way to get it. Some of these software companies, the plugins, you know what I'm saying? The Waves, Splice Audio, you know what I'm saying? All of these different things. There's ways to make money in music without having to get it from just streams. But it's going to require work on your end. If you're trying to get those brand deals, you're going to have to find a way to elevate your brand, elevate your look, elevate your content quality, right? You can't be making videos on an iPhone 3 no more, right? You can't be using the first Samsung Galaxy that was ever released with a sorry camera and think people are really going to invest in you as a content creator or an influencer. There are a such thing as music influencers. Don't let nobody fool you. And not to mention, once you start conquering all of these things, you can charge other people to teach them. I have a consulting business as well. This is not to take advantage of anybody, but for them to take time out of your day to have you sit with them and teach them how to make actual money, right? If a conversation with you teaches them how to enhance their annual income, you should be getting paid to tell them the information, right? So once you start conquering these things, you can actually teach others. That's another part of the game. I've already given y'all, in this short period of time, I've probably given y'all 7, 8 different streams of income that are available to you if you just continue to grow, continue to elevate, and stop just focusing on one area of the game. Now, being that this is a new podcast, Pen Game Elite, I'm going to actually start fielding people to bring them on for interviews, right? I'm going to bring some of my homies that's in the game, people that I know and love and trust, their opinion, their success. You know what I'm saying? We're going to open up the floodgates, man. I've been really holding back. I've been playing with this whole podcast idea. I'm going to do it for real. All right. This is the first official episode. You're going to see Pen Game Elite. When you see the logo, when you see the thumbnail, like you see it on this, you're going to know that's a podcast episode and it's differentiated from the other content that I put on this channel. I'm not going to create another channel. It's all going to be on this one J Nolan channel though. So if this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Be sure to like and share this video. Share this video once again. Visit my website down below, pengameelite.com, www.pengameelite.com. Check out the website. Check out the Southside Nolan Project. Go ahead and place your pre-order. You're going to get it on November 1st. Check out my course, Paid to Play. It's actually going to teach you how to get involved with sync licensing, how I went from 0 to 100 in that space. I also have the 2 ebooks. The Pen Game Portfolio Volume 1 and 2. I recommend Volume 2 because it just has so much more information. It goes deeper in depth and it has everything that was already included in Volume 1. So it's a better value for your money. And again, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to read and sit through a course, you can actually book time with me on the website. You can set up a consultation. We can have our time. We'll sit together for an hour. It's only $50 for an hour. And you can ask your questions if you want to do a listening session for me to listen to your project and give you honest feedback on how you can grow, get better, how you can possibly get it into a broader market, get it into sync licensing. That's also an option for you, man. And that's all I got for y'all at this time, man. Look out for the playlist on my channel for Pen Game Elite so I can start putting all the episodes on there. Make sure you follow the playlist so that you can get all updates. Make sure that you follow and subscribe to the page. I'm signing out for today, but I'm sure I'll have something for you very soon. And I'm thinking of releasing this on official podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Music Podcasts, all that good shit. We're going to try to get this all the way out there and do something really good for the community. All right. Much love and respect. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Yeah. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no condom. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble. New day, let's get it. Big chain, let's get it. More fame, let's get it. No shame, let's get it. New day, let's get it. Big chain, let's get it. More fame, let's get it. No shame, let's get it. I got 'em, get checked, no problem. Motivate like Wallow, chick gon' follow.